The 8th round of the Midwest Powersource Cup Series heads to Kansas Speedway, a 1.5-mile track that is known, as of late, to be one of the wildest and most brutal shows in intermediate oval racing. While on paper it looks similar to other tracks like Chicago and Las Vegas, Kansas offers multiple racing lines, a grippy service, and extraordinarily high speeds. Drivers tonight will have to conquer these banks in order to win the 125-lap race we are about to begin. Finney, in Kansas, we were just talking about it. It's a great racetrack, and obviously it suits these Cup cars very, very well. And tonight, a 125-lap race for round number 8 of this series.
Yeah, indeed, and we were also talking about how this track's kind of evolved in recent years with the different packages NASCAR's brought. A few years ago, it didn't really use, at least in iRacing, didn't really put up a lot of good racing. A lot of good drivers would hover towards the outside lane and would almost drive like Darlington. So it wasn't really that much fun because you couldn't really make some passes. But with this lower downforce package, whatever it's done, it's allowed these guys to really use up the entire racetrack into their advantage. So we definitely should see some good racing tonight.
Absolutely. Qualifying underway right now. Just about a minute and a half left. John Hathaway Jr. in the number 41 car, winner back from Indianapolis, I believe, a couple weeks ago, is out here once again. Currently sitting on provisional pole. Thomas Bresci in the number 24, sitting in second place right now. A blue Exalta paint on that car. Pepsi on the hood. And I believe Tyler Hensley also has an Exalta paint, a very similar paint scheme on board that car. And Nick Massey, we were talking about this prior to the broadcast here, Finney, a gorgeous Lowe's paint scheme on that number 48 Chevrolet here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Much better than Jimmy Johnson's actual paint scheme that he ran this year. But yeah, definitely the tribute to the old 48 Lowe's paint scheme. It just looks absolutely beautiful, especially with the metallic layers on that car.
Another driver that's back here tonight, Liam Sheen, the number 96 Toyota Camry, will be the lone Toyota here this evening and running a blank white scheme on board here this race. And obviously, it's been a couple weeks since we've seen Liam in any capacity, so good to see him back out here in a race hardline sim racing race. Again, round number 8 at Kansas Speedway here tonight.
Yeah, indeed, and also it looks like we're going to have 14 cars on the grid as Austin Darbyshire is actually just now joining the server. So he'll join us here. So got 14 drivers up from last week, so should see some pretty good racing with a decent-sized field.
Couple removals from the league after last week's antics at Lucas Oil. Finney, that was a wild one there. Lots of bumpers, lots of anger from some of the drivers to a few of the teammates that were racing last week. So I think some of those tempers have probably had some time to calm down. And honestly, Kansas probably isn't the place where you want to get your payback done.
Yeah, definitely. So this is more of a track where you kind of got to race them with a little bit more respect. And especially if you get into someone, you risk taking yourself out too. So you got to be careful with that respect.
Cole Bugunia crossing the line here. Will he improve from his current 7th spot? It looks like it will not be an improvement for the number 7, so Bugunia will hang on to 7th spot on the grid. Massey and Josh Adams, 3rd and 4th. Hensley in 5th. Brendan Kreutz, 6th. Casey Shue back this week in the number 4 car. He is going to be sitting in 9th right now on the grid.
Yeah, notably the driver we're missing is Daniel Roper, who's currently our points leader. So surprised to not see him here this week. Hopefully we can see him back next week.
I think my understanding was that he had a pretty solid points lead there, Finney, and so was it really necessary for him to come out here?
He's only ahead of Thomas Bresci by 3 points. However, the gap between Bresci and Adams between 2nd and 3rd place is about 20. So he can definitely afford to lose points by missing a race. So it's not the end of the world for Roper. So hopefully we see him back next week in form.
Is your brother watching on YouTube right now, Finney?
Is he?
Joseph Takuna says hi.
Oh, I guess he is.
Well, hi, Joseph. But as we get ready to go gridding here, 125 laps again on board. About an hour if this race is to go green here, Finney, and about 60 laps should be about a half hour. And it'll be a halfway break. Actually, we do have a stage at lap 40. Pits will be closed on lap 38, and then a caution will be thrown a couple laps later to award stage points to those drivers inside the top 10. The rest of the field getting gridded up right now. There's Evan Black back here this week in the number 92. Got a new paint scheme on board that car, at least one I haven't seen. Fame Apparel on board that number 92 Camaro. And again, a lot of Camaros in this field here, Finian. I see 2 Fords and a Toyota. Actually, there might be another Ford, 3 in the back there. So I believe Derbyshire is in the number 64. So as the field lines up, we're ready to go racing here tonight as the Ford FR500 pace car lines up on pit road, and we'll roll out for 1 pace lap. And that tied Ford Fusion, the number 41, John Hathaway, a winner in the series earlier this year, looking to get another victory. He's been quick at several races. Remember back to Watkins Glen just a few weeks ago, Finian probably should have had that race and lost it out to, I believe, the 24 of Bresci.
Yeah, and actually Hathaway currently is out of the 10 drivers who will make the playoffs in a few weeks' time. Currently has 196 points, but is trying to beat Jared Matthew with 249. So if he can get a few good weeks in the next, because we definitely seen this guy has a lot of speed. So if we can see him win some races here and there, he might be able to make him to the championship.
A lot of Hendrick-looking Chevrolets up towards the front, the 24, the 48, and that 88 all up there. But Finian, multiple grooves available here at Kansas Speedway, so maybe take the high line on the restarts?
We might see that. I think these guys might try to play around and see which lines are going to be good, and this is kind of going to be the experimental part of the race, especially in this first stage. So we might see some guys try the bottom, maybe got some guys try the top for the race.
Green flag flies, 125 laps here at Kansas, and John Hathaway wastes no time dropping to the apron to get himself out front. Solidly, there's the 48 of Nick Massey dropping into second. Bresci on the high side in the number 24, trying to use that momentum out of turn 2, but Massey closes right up on Hathaway out of turn 2, down the back straightaway for the first time.
And Bresci also is not sleeping on the start. He's already up to the back bumper of the 48 as they head off into turn 4.
Already 1 lap complete. Hathaway leads, but just by a nose over Nick Massey. Look at Bresci all the way down to the grass on the front straightaway as we complete the first lap.
Yeah, it's typically something drivers like to do. They love to cut that the tri-oval and try to get as much room as possible down there and try to get as much speed. But that's definitely dangerous though as the run goes on. Some drivers might get loose down there and might spin, so they got to watch out for that as the night goes on.
See everyone kind of gravitating to that high line there, Fenny, and early in the night, there's a lot of grip out here as the temperature falls. So I think a lot of drivers will prefer that upper groove because with the grip up there, you won't be able to slide up into the wall. And I think we'll see some drivers get into it, but for the most part, it's going to be a pretty safe place to be to find speed.
Yeah, definitely so. And you can already see the top 4 already nose to tail and really close in behind each other.
Then look back to 5th. Cole Begunia on the number 7's got Tyler Hensley and Brandon Kreutz all over his rear bumper. Hensley makes a little bit of a mistake and brings Kreutz in closer. Up front, though, battle for the lead.
Yeah, indeed, battle for the lead with these top 4 drivers all right behind each other. Oh, Bresci looks like he got a piece of the wall.
Yeah, a little bit of a scrape there. No damage that I can see. Maybe a slight crinkle on that right front fender, but now you see Josh Adams in the number 88 to the inside. Bresci gets the wall again and leaves a trail of sparks setting off into turn 3.
Yeah, not sure what happened with him, but he's now lost the spot to the 88 of Joshua Adams.
Oh, he wants to get back to the outside, swings up there, gets the door slammed, driving off into turn number 1. Can't quite complete that move.
Yeah, that's a dangerous game to play there. He and Adams almost got collected there, and these guys are going to, again, fight for every little spot of track they can get up there, and we're definitely seeing the top line being dominant.
Evan Black and Kevin Giadricic trading spots back here. Brandon Kreutz falling a little bit from his initial starting spot, which was 6th, so Kreutz going backwards very quickly, and I don't see any damage to that race car. But back up front, Hathaway is not driven away, and Nick Massey seems to be like one of those guys that creeps in at the end of the race, and we haven't really seen him dominate like he did last season in big portions of races early in the season, so maybe Massey can get himself out front and lead a lot of laps here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, again, sitting 5th in the points right now, and has had some pretty good races as of recently, so really he's got to fight the 41 of Hathaway, though, for that win, and it's going to be a tall order because we've definitely seen Hathaway be a big contender in some of these races.
I'm just trying to take a look at the lines. Oh, the 41 slips out of turn 2. Going to be a battle for the lead down the back straightaway. Here comes Massey to the inside, heading into turn 3.
I think he might get it here. He's got to slide up though in front of the 41 and can't quite do it.
Maybe use a little bit of side draft to get alongside, but he might get cleared again before turn 1. He had an opportunity and wasn't able to take advantage of it. Hathaway got himself back together as he slipped in turns 1 and 2, all the way up against the wall, almost about a foot away from it. Really too close to call there for the 41. Got to be careful. Don't bang your stuff up early. We saw Bressie get into it a couple times. Speaking of Bressie...
Yep. Yeah, I was going to say he's in a battle between Begunia and the 46 of Tyler Hensley. They're having a pretty hard fight for 4th place.
I'd say so. Hensley trying to move himself forward in that 46. Hasn't really gone very far. And I believe he started in 5th, and he's sitting in 5th still. So Hensley hasn't gone very far, and caution is out, and it's Brandon Kreutz in the number 93 on the front straightaway. So
Kreutz took a bit of a slide.
Yeah, got some damage to that right front fender. We'll go out and check it in just a second to see what happened to him here. So here is a look at what happened to the number 93. Out of turn 4, just gets into the wall right as the safer barrier ends there. And just got into the wall, looped it around nice and simple, and kept it to himself there, Finian. But already struggling with understeer that early in the run. You got to wonder if Brandon Kreutz is not liking how his car's handling.
Yeah, definitely. So, and really with the line these guys are running so close to the wall, if you're experiencing some understeer, you don't have a lot to really save the car. You can't back out because by the time you realize you have understeer, you're almost already in the wall. So it's something you got to account for and think of in advance.
So far, John Hathaway Jr. has led every single lap, all 10 of the laps that we have run. So maybe too early for tires here, Finian. I tend to think we're going to see some guys on pit road here.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to see some guys on pit road here. It's really a question: does anyone dare try maybe to cut it short, maybe take 2 tires? Because considering these guys only have to go to lap number 40 for the stage, so they only got 30 laps, actually less than 30 laps to go. So we may see someone try something here.
A little bit surprised to see that everyone came down to pit road. I wasn't quite expecting that, but here they come now. Hathaway leads the train, and they'll come in and probably take 4 tires and fuel. I mean, maybe someone will gamble with 2 just to get some track position here.
Yeah, looks like everyone got into their stall pretty much okay. I think Jared Matthews slid through his. But here they come out.
Looks like 4 tires for everyone here, Finian. So the leaders come out as they were. And for the most part, not a huge position swap for anyone on pit lane.
Oh, actually, Begunia looked like he didn't almost beat Joshua Adams off of pit road. They were very close up the line.
And Jared Matthew comes out in 11th spot and came in, I believe, in 6th. Or 7th, I believe. So yeah, so Matthew lost 4 spots on pit lane. You mentioned how he slipped through his pit box. That's a costly mistake for that number 27 car. This is another guy that had a really rough week last week at Lucas Oil Raceway. Had a miserable night there, trying to redeem himself tonight, but early mistakes for the 27 Camaro. Well, everyone's still on the lead lap. Everyone's still competitive here, Finian, so we'll get the 1 degree. Nice short caution here at Kansas Speedway, and so far the only car that has any damage that I can visibly see is that number 93 of Kreutz, and he might have gotten most of that repaired. And it looks like he has indeed, so that 93 looking nice and sparkly now, and we'll get another chance at life here. I would say Hathaway is all alone up there in terms of having his Ford teammates. Jadrosich, the other Ford, is sitting in 9th, and Austin Derbyshire is the final Ford, sitting in 13th right now. So Hathaway, the only Ford in the top 8, and all the rest around him are Camaros. The Toyota of Liam Sheen running 14th right now in the back.
Yeah, so Hathaway's pretty much by himself, and he's got a lot of hungry guys around in the 48. Of Massey, the 88 of Adams, and the 7 of Begunia, and all of which all of are hungry, and especially Begunia, who's slowly worked his way up through the field.
Out of turn 4, we'll try again. Coming to the restart. Lap 40 is our stage break. The 41 takes off on the restart. We're green again here at Kansas.
And already dove down to the apron trying to get as much, trying to cut the line, make the shortest line towards turn 1, gain some time on the track, and he's going to try to sail off ahead of everyone else.
Out of turn 2, side by side for second at the moment. They got that sorted out. Tyler Hensley in the 46 trying to get a spot away from Bressie. They were fighting before the caution flew, and they're going to keep fighting as of now.
Yeah, Bressie trying to hopefully keep his car in one piece. Hit the wall a few times on the last run that we were on. Currently, he was able to defend that from the 46. He's now going to look ahead, maybe try to get the spots that he lost on the start.
Nick Massey dropped his spot on the restart.
Oh, a big penalty, John Hathaway, for changing lanes on the start.
Oh man.
I think you're not supposed to be going down towards the apron, so he has gotten black flag and will have to come down in a few laps time.
That is big bad news for the 41, your leader. And that is going to be an unfortunate penalty for him. And obviously that's the risk you take when you change lanes on the restart like that, Finian. And obviously it's going to hurt the 41 big time. And I don't expect to see a lot of yellows tonight, so that might hurt him in getting his lap back.
Yeah, really unfortunate for the 41 on Hathaway. It was pretty much the dominant car here so far. Yeah, and Hathaway has just gotten the word from race control. If he does not pit this lap, he will be disqualified, so he's got to come in this time.
Didn't really give him a whole lot of time to respond to that. They're telling him to come down right away. We usually get about 3 or 4 lap window to serve that penalty, but we will see the 41, your current leader, come down to pit road to serve a penalty, and we'll see if he argues that.
Oh.
And that might have just been a disconnect there.
Yep, you did.
And that is a real shame.
So after that transfers the lead of the race to Joshua Adams in the 88.
Wow, that's a dramatic change there, though, Finian. And Adams and Massey have just been handed this one. The 41, really their only competition the last couple weeks on the oval side of things. And with him out of the way, it's really going to be in good shape for them tonight if they wanted either that 88 or 48 to win a race here.
And indeed, and I think we might see Massey step up the aggression, maybe, considering he's only got one more car to pass, and I think Adams might not be as much competition for him.
I really do think Massey is the quickest of the cars that is still out there, although Adams has run a better lap than Massey. I don't really know. I think Massey's got the car to beat here, but take a look back. Pass for 6th right now. Casey Shue, Evan Black, and Kevin Giadersich all in a fight back here. That'll be for the 6th spot.
I think we're going to see a pass for the lead. I think we're going to see it here. Adams hit the wall in 3 and 4, and Massey's trying to make the most of it.
The sun is setting here at Kansas, and the intensity is picking up. The lights will be on soon here, Finian, but the sparks are going to start flying, especially for the lead. Josh Adams has it. Nick Massey wants it. Cole Bagunia sitting and waiting in the wings if something happens.
Yeah, it looks like Massey wasn't able to entirely capitalize, but caution's out.
Giadersich. Oh, big pileup on the back straightaway. Cody Tabor involved, Jared Matthew. And Giadersich, as you mentioned, big damage to a couple of those cars.
Oh, it actually looks like it was 2 separate incidents.
Tabor all caught up in it. Let's go back and take a look at what happened here. The first one I'm looking at here, this is with Tabor getting into the wall off of turn 2, and Giadersich just lost it all by himself. And these 2 cars just kind of came down and collected Giadersich in the end of that mess there.
Wow, Jared Matthew did a fantastic job of getting his car slowed down before he hit the wall.
What a terrible week, though, for Jared Matthew. Last week, Lucas Oil had similar luck. Got caught up in a bunch of wrecks, and nothing Jared Matthew could have done to miss this, really.
No, but it was so close to hitting the inside wall, so he'll minimize his damage only to his right front and nose from getting in contact with Cody Tabor.
You can see the 6 car Giadersich just up the road, get into the wall, and crash much the same way Tabor did. And you're right, Matthew did a great job slowing down, but that'll be our second caution here on lap number 20. And the rest of the field looks like they will head down to pit lane for service once again here tonight. And
now so now we're halfway on our run towards towards the stage. So I wonder now again, does anyone try to play a wild card?
I would.
And I think we've seen it. The 7 of Begunia, he's taking 2 tires.
Yeah, 2-tire stop for the number 7. He'll come out as your leader. I love that move there, Finney. You see Bressie trying to beat out Massey. Didn't quite do it, I don't believe. You see the rest of the field coming out now.
He actually hit the brakes coming out of the pits.
Well, that would put him 4th in the outside lane.
So that's why he did it.
I suppose. I mean, it looks like the inside is a viable restart location. I just don't know if it's the best overall. So I think Bressie really wanted that outside lane for the run on the restart. But I guess we'll see how it'll pan out here in a moment. Well, it's been a wild one here tonight, Finney. I thought we'd see some calmer action after last week's chaos at Lucas Oil Raceway, but not so. Tonight at Kansas, 2 cautions in the 21 laps that we've run so far.
Yeah, one was and that last one was a pretty big wreck involving 3 cars, and it looks like I think all of them took their flash repairs, so they're done with that for the rest of the night. If anything else happens to them, they're going to be done.
Well, don't forget, we have over 100 laps to go. This is not anywhere near being done, and at the rate we've been seeing incidents tonight, we could probably run into an issue where they run out of repair, because obviously they use that fast repair, which grants them basically a brand new race car to use for the remainder of the race, but they only get 1 of those, and they've used it up already. As so the 2, the 27, and I believe, did the 6 car take his as well?
Yes, everyone took theirs.
Yeah, so that's going to be bad news for them if they get involved in another wreck. You see 2 cautions for a total of 7 laps, as we have 1 more lap to complete in this caution. 2 lead changes. Begunia took it away, as did Adams from the 41 of John Hathaway Jr., who has exited the race and retired for the night. You see the pace car up in front. That will pull off in a lap and release the field back to green flag conditions.
Yeah, again, should be very interesting now with the leader with 2 tires. So we'll see. Again, these guys didn't really have too much of a run on the last time through on this current set of tires. So we'll see if Begunia might have something here with taking only 2 tires and getting, more importantly, that vital track position.
Also, just think about Hathaway, Finney, and if he had done that pit stop and done the penalty, he'd be right back in this race.
Yeah.
And again, hindsight's 20/20 when it comes to those sort of things, but obviously it seemed at the time that would be an unlikely hill to recover from, but he'd be right back in this mess, and he was the quickest car out here by a pretty significant margin, so missed opportunity for Hathaway to steal another win away. And obviously, I don't know what the point situation is for the 41 car, Finian, but it's going to hurt him quite a bit for not completing this race.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of close with him. He's currently 15th, about 50 points out from 10th. But I mean, with a good, if he kept finishing like he's been running in the few weeks we've seen him run, would have been able to, would have at least had a shot at getting into the playoffs. But unfortunately, we're not probably going to see him do that.
Pace car will pull off this time through, and on lap 24 we'll restart this race. That'll be 102 laps to go at Kansas Speedway. It's been a wild one so far, just like Lucas Oil Speedway last week. Coming to the restart, Begunia leads them back down in the FedEx number 7 Camaro.
And Begunia getting a good start, and again, he's got to keep at least a decent lead for his strategy to work, and that's again, we'll see how if the 4 tires really are the way to go on these short runs.
And Bressie on that outside, will he be able to take advantage of it? Doesn't look like it. He'll remain 4th behind Nick Massey onto the back straightaway. Almost ducked under, down into turn number 3.
And how about the 90 behind him? The 92 Evan Black, who has made a return to this series, is trying to do well.
Ooh, Tyler Hensley all the way down against the grass on the front straightaway, trying to take advantage of Casey Shue. There's Brandon Kreutz all the way up against the wall, not leaving a whole lot of room there for error. But out of turn 2, Casey Shue will edge ahead in position number 6.
Oh, and Liam Sheen is down on pit road with some huge nose damage.
Oh, wow. Big damage for the 96. Let's go back quickly, take a look at where this occurred.
Yeah, it looks like on lap 24 off of 2.
Oh, man! Vicious impact for the 96. Yeah, I found it there, Finian. Gets out of turn 2, drives up into the wall, and spins across the racetrack, and slams into the inside wall, and no caution there, but the 96 will have to take that fast repair if he wants to be competitive again.
Yeah, indeed he did. He's gonna try to get back out on the track, but he's gotta hurry. He might end up falling 2 laps down.
And Begunia leads, but looks like Josh Adams and Nick Massey are still fighting for second, and Thomas Bresci hanging in fourth, waiting in the wings if something happens to these guys. Ooh, the 92 got real close to the wall out of turn 4, drops all the way down to the apron on the front straightaway.
Yeah, but right now it looks like the race for the stage, it looks like it's going to come to these this top 4 in the front of the field.
At the end of lap 40, the top 10 drivers will be awarded points. 10 points to the leader, 9 to second place, and so on down for 1 point for 10th. So these drivers are fighting for points right now, so it's going to be a big deal here in about 10, 11 laps. And you see right now they're fighting pretty hard for it. Adams right on the bumper of Cole Begunia for that lead.
Yeah, Begunia all the way up towards the wall, a lane higher than the guys behind him.
He was a lane high enough to scrape the wall. Caution out again. Brennan Cruz in the 93. Around in turn 2 and stopped on the racetrack. Got some damage to that left front. And I believe, is this the second time or was it Black that... No, I believe it was Cruz that was spun for our first yellow. It was Cruz. So this is the second caution tonight.
Oh, and Liam Ooh, and Derbyshire also got involved.
Let's take a look here. Down into turn number 1, the 93 gets up into the fence and slows down, and Jadrsic has nowhere to go, misses it, but Liam Sheen just has repaired his car and gets into the 93, and oh, Derbyshire slips on through, but he might have gotten some damage, and yes, he did. Pretty severe damage, actually. Let's take a look at Derbyshire's view. And this is a helpless feeling as a driver here, Finian. When you enter a corner, you're committed to the throttle, and there's just nowhere anybody can go here. Look. Oh, man.
Yeah, and I mean, you gotta, he picked to go high, and again, when a car's spinning like that, you don't know where he's gonna end up. And so he thought he would go low, ended up going high with him, and then Derbyshire did the best that he could to avoid it.
Here's Jadrsic's view, gets on the brakes just in time, and you look behind him, Liam Sheen piles into the mess as well. Derbyshire slips on through, but big contact there. Get another look at it. We'll be exiting turn 2 here in a moment, and you'll see the 93 already up against the wall here in a moment. And he's spinning, and you see the 64, slams into the wall trying to miss. And I believe, Derbyshire really didn't get that much contact with the 93 recruits. Most of the damage he received was actually from the wall, because he hit the wall to kind of save himself there. Look at the track covered in orange glow from the sun heading down.
I actually thought Kreutz was in trouble. I thought he used his fast repair already, but apparently that was only his, apparently he didn't use it on his last spin, but has used it now and definitely needed it, so he'll be back in racing contention. Oh, it looks like the 46 of Tyler Hensley got an EOL for speeding.
So Tyler Hensley, a penalty for that Exalta number 46. He'll have to restart at the tail end of the longest line. What about, let's see, let's take a look at 96 of Liam Sheen. Had just gotten his fast repair, Finian, and that car is all torn up again.
Yeah, he's gonna pretty much be done with it. That's a decent amount of nose damage. I'm kind of curious of what his top speed is gonna be.
And he's coming on
that
down.
Amount of damage.
Did he actually fix that car here, Finian? It looks, he didn't really hit Kreutz that hard. I wouldn't think that the car would be that torn up.
No, he did repair it and came back out on the track after what happened the first time.
Let's see what he can do to fix this car, but his team's going to have to be doing a lot of sheet metal teardown to get that thing back to drivable conditions. And he misses his pit stall too.
They're going to need to bring out the saw.
See Derbyshire all fixed up, taking his fast repair. But the sun has gone down here quite a bit, Finian, and with that, that brings cooler temperatures and more grip for these drivers. And we've seen so far, we've been slowed 3 times by cautions for a total of 10 laps, 2 lead changes. But as the grip level rises here, Finian, I think the aggression level will also pick up, but these guys are going to start running out of cars if they don't get too careful.
Yeah, and from the looks of it, I think Liam Sheen does have his car repaired, and I think these guys might have multiple available.
I don't know if he ever took it the first time, to be honest, because the damage he had... Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I checked the replay. He had car damage both times, came in, took a repair, came back out, and then got his car dinged up again by hitting Croots.
You can see the lights have come on here at Kansas Speedway, and it's about time to get ready to go back racing. And pretty soon the lights will be cast down on the racetrack as the sun sets. And Cole Bagunia will lead us back to green here in a moment. I think Nick Massey's in a really good spot restarting on that outside lane. You want to start closer to the outside wall here than you would normally start at an oval track because the outside groove at Kansas is very, very effective, more so than at other tracks of this style like Chicago and Las Vegas. So I think Massey and it looks like Casey Shue will be in 4th place in that number 4 car, so he's going to be in a good spot as well.
Yeah, so we'll see what Shue can do. This is for the first time he's been up here this high tonight. So we'll see what he's got now when these guys got about 7 laps to go till the stage caution.
Pace car pulls in, coming back to the restart, lap number 34. Only a couple laps until the stage. Green flag flies once again. Look at this pack for battling for a second, side by side. Looks like Bressy's going to be in the best spot here as Adams drops to the inside. Massey goes to the outside to try to get a run.
Yeah, Massey got a very poor restart. Just could not get the car up to speed. Almost lost 2 positions, but he only lose 1 to the 24 of Thomas Bressy. And Bressy now trying to attack Bagunia for the lead.
Evan Black all the way down against the white line, trying to get by Casey Shue. Can't quite clear him. Shue will carry the momentum out of turn 4. Kevin Jadricic coming with him on the outside lane. Up front, though, side by side for second. Bressy and Massey fighting for that spot down into turn number 1.
Yeah, this is where you're going to want to use up your stuff here. There's not many laps left to go before the stage breaks. So these guys are going to have to give it everything and give it their all right now.
And Bressy closing in on Bagunia's rear bumper.
And here comes Bressy now to the inside in 1. It looks like he's going to dive down in there and try to slide up to clear.
Oh, right up in front of the 7 car. Makes it work, but the 24 goes to the lead. Bagunia tries to get it back. Can't do anything with it. Battle behind them going on as well. But battle for the lead again. Bagunia drops to the inside, trying to take advantage of that shorter way around. Can't do it. And here comes Adams to try to fill in that hole on the outside lane. And behind them, a battle going on for 5th as well. Up the racetrack goes the 4. Casey Shue to block the advance of Evan Black in the 92. Almost made contact into turn 1.
Yeah, we've seen Bagunia struggling with that 2-tire strategy. So he's going to start to fall back. He's now back in 4th.
Next time by, the pit lane entry will close as we are 2 laps away from our stage break where points will be awarded to the top 10 drivers. 10 points for Bressy if he stays where he is, but again, still a little ways left to go here. No, looked like Massey hit the wall on the entrance to the corner and maybe got some right side damage to that Lowe's number 48.
Yeah, indeed he did.
Oh, crashing through turn 2 there, Finian. Oh, man. And it's the 46 of Hensley. Tabor's in it again. Liam Sheen going to jam on the brakes, try to miss everybody, but the big one in there, Tyler Hensley in the 46. This will end stage 1. Let's go back and take a look. Another 3 or 4 car incident here. It was Matthew that got into the wall the first time. I saw the sparks and looked back, and that was when, oh man, big contact there. And actually, Cody Tabor already had a piece of it from the 27. Those cars have been together once already today.
Yeah, it sucks for Hensley getting involved in that. He tried to get off of Matthew after he got into the wall, but just couldn't avoid him.
get another look at this one here. Off into turn 1. Matthew just overdrove because Hensley was right on his rear bumper, didn't want to get run into, but then they make contact. The 27 noses into the wall, and then Tabor zigzagging all over the racetrack to try to miss it, and wasn't able to do so. Liam Sheen, you see in the white car there, darting off to the side to miss the rest of it. Yeah, let's ride on board with Tabor here and watch his perspective. He tried his best, but nowhere to go again. And again, that'll be our 4th caution tonight here, Finian. So we're averaging 1 caution every 10 laps. And this is very much like last week at Lucas Oil Raceway. All the carnage that we saw there, it's continuing into Kansas this week.
Yeah, indeed. But with that caution coming out, the stage will be called after, since it's so close to the end of the actual stage length. The stage will be called there. So Bresci will take the stage win. Adams in 2nd, and Nick Massey in 3rd.
Field pulls out of pit lane there. There's a couple cars still hanging out, and one of them, Finian, is Massey in the number 48, maybe fixing some damage. I mean, we saw him scrape the wall a couple times. And looks like the 27 has taken his fast repair, and probably a good time to take it there, Finian.
Yeah, definitely. So you definitely want to keep the car repaired as much as possible.
They definitely have multiple because he's already repaired that car once tonight.
Yeah.
Cody Tabor again probably going to take another one as well. You see that car is all repaired. And Liam Sheen is currently behind the pace car, and I don't understand how he got behind it here because he is currently scored 13th. So he shouldn't be caught behind the pace car. I imagine he'll get a wave around here in a second. There he goes.
Nope.
Oh, man. Yeah, this got to be a scoring issue here because he's not leading the race, but he was never a lap down. So hopefully that'll get all sorted out and he can resume his position on the lead lap where he was prior to the caution.
Actually, he was a lap down.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Well, that solves that answer there. But he will get his lap back here in a moment. Let's take another look at our caution information here tonight. 4 cautions for 14 laps. 3 lead changes so far.
Yeah, we have seen that passing seems to be a little tricky for these guys. You can really only do it on the initial run, and then later on it seems to be harder than ever really to pass. So these guys have to be kind of creative in their ways of passing, and by creative, really, they have to kind of do it on the initial start within the first few laps.
You see the lights have come on here, Finian, and we never really took a look at the weather here tonight, but if you take a look, 77 degrees on the racetrack, that matches the ambient air temp. And what I find interesting about that is that's about as cold as it's going to get. And 77 degrees, pretty cool, pretty fast lap times here. The best lap time in the field is actually by our leader, Thomas Bresci, at 29.341. That's a pretty good lap time around the Kansas Speedway. And there's Liam Sheen getting his lap back, so he'll get to drive around the racetrack one time and collect the rear of the field. He'll still be scored in 13th. But Bresci and Adams will assume the front row now. And it's interesting to note here, Finian, that the last time Bresci had a choice in the restart lane, he wanted the outside, but here he wants the inside as the leader. I wonder why that is.
Yeah, I don't know if he just feels that it's easier to get the launch from the inside, being able to run a shorter line as they get up to speed. So I guess that might be his reasoning for restarting on the inside.
Well, you do have to be careful, though, as we've seen that dropping below that white line on the restart can get you a penalty, as what happened to John Hathaway Jr., who ended up retiring from the race after receiving a penalty that wouldn't have hurt him all that bad because a caution had come out about 5 laps later. So again, as we mentioned earlier, hindsight's 20/20 there. But Bresci is going to be our leader. 88 of Joshua Adams in that green and black car is on the outside. He's scored second. Casey Shue in the blue and black number 4. He's going to be third on the inside of row number 2. Evan Black in 4th. Coming back to the restart, lap number 43. No more stages, going all the way to the end if we can. Green flag back in the air.
And Bresci already getting a good start over the rest of the field. Shue lining up in 2nd.
And Giadricic on the inside trying to do something down there to the inside of Evan Black, but can't quite get it done. And Black's trying to squeeze in behind the 88 car. Almost makes contact there And Brennan Kreutz back up into 5th. We've seen him get into the wall a couple times tonight.
Yeah, and you can see how everyone's being really cutthroat with being on that outside lane. They're not really giving many people the chance to blend up there if they can protect it. So, a very cutthroat out here at the moment.
We saw Allison Derbyshire get into the wall in turns 3 and 4, slowed him down quite a bit, lost a few spots, but kept it going straight. Now we're on board with.
Oh, Hensley making a dive to the inside of Kreutz into the turn, and so is Jadricic also.
Yeah, big battle going on here for what will ultimately be 5th place on track. You see just behind there.
For second.
Oh, wow. The 4 Casey Shoe slips across the racetrack, actually scrapes the wall on the entry to the corner. These guys are racing so hard here, Finian. There's a long way to go. There's 80 laps to go, and we're still racing like it's the last one.
And again, this is what I was talking about when we were under caution. I think guys have realized that they're going to make their passes. They were going to want to do it when the tires are fresh and they have the most grip. Because I think once the tires start to wear off, they really can't make those passes to the inside on the turns. There's just not enough grip to make the car rotate. And here comes Adams again on Casey Shoe trying to take away 2nd place.
I think Adams has the quicker car here, so he's got to be patient. But how do you be patient when you got Evan Black?
Evan Black,
Wow. Just like that. Evan Black takes over 3rd place. He's been charging to the front here. Take a look at this. Started back in 13th. That was 2nd to last. And here he is running 3rd right now on lap 46.
Yeah, and I have to make a correction to what I said earlier. This is a return to the series. This is his first start in the Hardline series.
Oh, we've seen him in VRL before, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. But yeah, he's making a good return to SimTV in a really good way, fighting for 2nd here halfway through the race.
Fighting for it. He's almost got it right now. He was right on the bumper of Casey Shoe, but Joshua Adams doesn't let him get too far out ahead. Let's ride on board with the 88.
I'm kind of curious where Adams is going to go. There he goes to the outside, and Black to the apron, trying to go to the inside of Casey Shoe.
He's there, but it's really hard to pass somebody all the way down to that inside groove. You see the 92 lose momentum mid-corner, and Casey Shoe will be able to carry that on exit. Here comes Adams to the outside to fill that hole, and he'll take away 3rd place again from Evan Black.
Yeah, that's exactly what Adams is doing right now. It's exactly how Black took the position away from Adams earlier in the race. And I think Black's got to concede this and now fall back to 4th. Oh, Shoe almost in the wall, and Adams is going to take advantage. He's got a huge run on him on the straightaway and make the pass on the straightaway.
So slides up in front of Casey Shoe and takes that one with assertiveness. And we take a look back to 7th place, Jadricic and Massey side by side. Remember, Massey lost a bunch of spots on pit lane, getting that car fixed after some wall contact earlier tonight. So let's head back up now to Evan Black to the inside of Casey Shoe for 3rd.
Yeah, I don't think Black's going to be able to do it. It's going to be a tall order.
Oh, Shoe blocks the heck out of the 92. What a move that was. I got to take a look at that on the replay here, Finney. That was crazy.
Yeah, indeed. Cutting him off like that was able to secure his 3rd position.
Not quite done with it yet here. Big battle for 3rd continues. Black drives in on the inside. Gonna slide up the racetrack. Will Shoe cross him over. Turns hard left on the exit of turn 4. Back down to the inside. Battle for 3rd continues.
Yeah, these guys are definitely far from over, but while they've been battling, it's allowing Brennan Kreutz and Cole Bagunia to catch up, and now it's a 4-way battle for 3rd place. Oh, Black in the wall.
Yeah, sparks flying off the number 92, and Kreutz was dead sideways into turn 1, but he saved it.
Oh, Bagunia's
3
got a
wide.
big run. Is he going to shoot 3 wide?
Oh, man, down the back straightaway. Bagunia goes middle, 3 wide.
And Shoe is going to lose a lot of positions here. Hensley goes around him on the outside. Here comes Nick Massey with the run. And Nick Massey is going to be Casey Shoe to the line, so Shoe went in 1 lap from 3rd to 7th place. While all this action's been going on back here, it's allowed Thomas Bresci to get away from the rest of the field and expand to a 1.7 lead over Joshua Adams.
Yeah, not an insignificant lead. You mentioned it, finishing 1.7 seconds. Evan Black still in 3rd, but behind him still kind of a chaotic race back here for 4th. Tyler Hensley, remember, he was involved in a wreck just a little while ago. 3 wide again on the front straightaway.
Oh, boy. Oh, Begunia got into the wall on entry, and everyone's slowing up at different rates.
Oh, Kreutz in the middle of the 3 wide there. He's been in the wall a few times, manages to back out. Massey doesn't know what to do here. Casey Shoes dropped all the way back to 8th. I don't think he wants any part of this. He's going to let these guys battle out amongst themselves.
Wow, and Massey with a big dive, almost getting side by side with Begunia, but I don't think he's going to be able to get the run off the corner. And no, he will not. But Black really struggling now, and here comes Begunia going through him as well as Hensley to the inside.
Out of turn 2, the 46 and the 7 almost get together. Evan Black slides up the outside.
Oh, Massey. I thought Massey's going to shoot at the middle 3 wide, but he backed out of it. I think the gap was too narrow for his liking.
That 48 car was really leading most of the race after that 41 car had lost the lead. Oh, the 7 car spins on the front straightaway, out of control. He'll manage to regain it, though, through the grass on lap number 55. He'll pull back up on the racetrack and lose a ton of spots. Let's go back, take a quick look.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate for Begunia.
Yeah, just a big slip up there. And it's going to be a costly one, but let's head back up now for that battle that was continuing. It's between Evan Black, Massey, and Hensley spins now. Same thing Begunia did a lap ago. Can he save it this time? Yes, he does.
He'll save it, but he's going to lose a lot of track position.
More than Begunia did. Evan Black slips out of turn 2, and Massey has worked his way up to 4th, and Massey has really taken advantage of everyone else's mistakes, racing so hard. He's been so consistent and so smooth out there in that Lowe's number 48, and trying to get himself back in podium position here, drops to the inside of that 92 on the front straight.
Yeah, Massey seems to be a little bit more patient than a lot of these other guys, waiting for the opportunity to strike. And there you see him make a very clean pass over the 92 Evan Black. And it looks like he's going to try to drive away into the sunset towards the 88 of Joshua Adams ahead.
Well, things have calmed down for the time being on lap number 57. Not quite to the halfway point of this race yet, but so far it's been kind of a wild one here, Finney. 4 cautions for 15 laps, 3 lead changes, but that is not really the number we should go by. You should go by the number of passes on track, because there's been quite a few.
Yeah, indeed, especially in this run compared to the last run. I kind of wonder maybe the track kind of falling into night. I think maybe something changing the track, or just these guys' attitude, because they've been going at each other with a knife in hand these last few laps.
You see the track is getting brighter now that the lights have worked their way up to full intensity now. And again, we mentioned how everything's kind of settled out, but let's keep an eye on this. Also, Kevin Jadrosich, this number 6 car, Finney, and he's had a lot of mixed success in the races that we've seen him in here this year, but 10th is where he started. He's running 5th right now. A good consistent run is all the 6 car needs.
Yeah, he's got that right now, running in 5th. Not too much competition behind him, but has got 4th and 3rd ahead in his sights. So maybe able to the benefit here. We've seen Black be very aggressive in the start of this run. I think he's kind of used up his stuff a bit. So let's see if Jadrosich can take advantage, and he will. He's going to look to the outside of Black on the straightaway.
Saw Massey and Black both drop all the way down to the grass on that apron. And now look at how close they are to the outside lane, and keep in mind that at Kansas Speedway, the quickest line is up as close to that wall as you can get without running into it. And a lot of drivers have stepped over that boundary here tonight and gotten themselves into trouble.
So Black looked like he was loose on exit, and Jadrosich is going to take the opportunity to try to. Nope, he can't do it. And you see that Black really taking that.
Oh,
ooh.
Black in the wall there.
The wall. Oh, and so is Massey, I think.
Oh, Black in the wall again out of turn 2. Hits it much harder that time, and loses that position to Jadrosich for 4th. So Black is really struggling now. Goes off into turn 3 and almost scrapes it again. He's got some splitter damage on that nose as well. So he's had a couple incidents tonight. Oh, and now the 6 car gets into the wall. We've seen that a lot on corner entry here, Finney, and I think that safer barrier, the steel and foam energy reduction system, that actually requires a couple feet of lateral space to build out. And on corner entry, the safer barrier actually comes out away from the concrete wall. Let's right on board with Evan Black here and just watch the outside wall fall away on corner exit right here. Oh, you see, oh, and he gets into it and spins.
Everyone hits it.
We've seen this so many times tonight, and Black is going to correct it and save it here, but lose more spots.
Third car to do that.
Third car to do it in the fourth time tonight. We've seen it. But let's get I got to finish off my point here. Let's drive on board with Abbott Bressi in this number 24. Here's our leader right now. And keep an eye on the wall here. You see the lines? That's the steel wall, but the concrete begins right here, and you see the wall fall away, and now it's concrete. You get all the way down to turn 1, and then that steel wall is going to jump back out again. And we've already passed that entry point where it has done that, but some drivers, if you're riding that outside wall, you're gonna hit that as soon as you get near it on the turn number 1. Evan Black in Derbyshire knows the tail here in turn 1.
Oh, and Massey hit it again on entry, and Jadricic is now really starting to reel him in.
Can Jadricic get a podium out of this if he just keeps going straight? Remember, he's not had a clean night himself. He's had a couple incidents, but he's trying to get his act cleaned up here as we work our way towards halfway. It looks like we have passed that already, so halfway here at Kansas. Bressi leading now by only a half a second here, Finian. Looks like Adams has run him down.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that he was able to, and it wasn't really, I don't think, because of one mistake, but Adams looks like he's been about 2/10 faster a lap trying to catch Bressi.
And remember, he had a 2.7 second lead at one point, Bressi did, so...
Oh, Cody Tabor slow in the grass in turns 1 and 2.
Oh, caution flies.
Caution is out.
And it's not for the 2, it's for the 93 once again, the third time tonight that he's had an issue on the front straightaway. I'm going to take a random guess that this was contact out of turn 4 with that outside wall once again.
Actually, it looks like he got loose off the corner. Yeah, he got loose off the corner.
Let's take a look at it. Up in front of Cole Bagunia there in number 7, and out of the corner, yep, just steers it and gets behind on it, and oh man, tank slapper right into the wall. And we'll get this from a couple other angles here.
Oh wow, I'm actually, I'm looking at Cody Tabor. What happened to Cody Tabor? He actually had a pretty violent lick with the wall. I'm actually surprised the caution didn't come out for this. You want to take a look at that?
Yeah, sure, I'll take a look at what happened to Tabor. And he blew his motor, it looks like. I'm not really sure what caused the yellow first. Oh, yeah, again, he hits that wall on corner entry, and... oh, man, a huge lick into the outside wall for the 2 car.
Yeah, this wasn't the caution. He was already slow on the apron well before that, and then it was really Kreutz hitting the wall and spinning. I think that brought out the caution.
Another big lick for Tabor, though. He's had quite a few of these in recent weeks. Oh, that's a scary wreck. Man, into the wall hard for him.
Yeah, but big break for him. He will only fall a lap down. But will be in free pass position. However, he is he has a lot of smoke coming out of his car right now.
Looking at one more angle on board. You can see how violent this is from the onboard shot. Oh, man. Almost got all 4 tires up off the ground there for that crash.
And pit stops are underway. Oh, Nick Massey, though, looks like he had some trouble getting into his pit stall, so he's going to lose some valuable spots here on the track.
And Bressi will win the race off of pit road. Adams will come out second. Bagunia third. Jadricic fourth. So the status quo is still there. And you mentioned Massey again. He's really struggled on pit road. I think the last time he lost spots, it was because he was repairing damage. But this time, you mentioned he missed his pit box there, Finney, and dropped back to 8th.
Oh, and there's actually an incident entering pit stalls between Derbyshire and Black when they were heading into their pit stalls.
Yes, let's take a look. Oh, yep. Oh, man, the 64 gets looped around. And crashes on pit lane are pretty rare. And you see right there, and really, so the 64 actually has his stall before the 92, and this is on both drivers here to know who's around them and where the pit boxes are. But the 92 was after the 64. And he should have been aware of that and not turned in before the 64, knowing he was going to turn across the nose. So, just obviously a little bit of a racing incident there, but hopefully everyone down on pit road is okay. All right, as for the restart, we'll restart on lap number 70. And your leader, Thomas Bresci, retains the lead for this restart. And Josh Adams, who was chasing him down prior to that restart, or that caution, will be restarting in second in that green and black number 88. Cole Bagunia hangs on to third. And I feel bad for Massey because he had just finished passing all those cars with all those incidents around him and kept himself out of trouble, and now he's going to have to do it all over again.
Yeah, it's going to be entertaining to watch. You saw a cut-through battle the last run through for these positions up towards the front of the field, and I expect to see much of the same here between these guys.
We have been taking no prisoners here tonight. It's been quite a wild race, and again, I think we walked into here with the expectation it would calm down a little bit after Lucas Oil Raceway last week. Has not been the case. Restart lap number 70, and Bresci takes off.
And pretty much is going to say sayonara to the rest of the field as Bagunia and Adams are already fighting for position.
Oh, look at Brandon Kreutz almost got to the outside of the 4 car on the back straightaway, but this is a big battle back here for 6th. Actually, make that 5th place. Tyler Hensley there as well.
It looks like they're pretty much equal. Hensley looks like he's going to back off mid-corner. Maybe Kreutz, does he decide to make it middle 3 wide?
Oh, this is a big mess of cars on the front straightaway a lap after the restart here. Look at that. You can throw a blanket over 5-6 cars there.
Yeah, really, these guys have to be careful not to get into each other here because it's very easy to not expect someone to back off the corner, but Kreutz is going to go to the outside of Casey Shue now to try to take away 5th place.
And Shue's going to have to give that spot up. Hard to make ground on the inside. He slips on corner exit. Big wobble for the 4 car. He's going to lose another spot to Hensley and maybe one to Massey as well.
Yeah, that was Kreutz pinching the 4 of Casey Shue down. Wow, Shue got loose on entry.
And Massey almost picked up some contact there, but we're going to go 3 wide on corner exit here if the 4 car doesn't fill that hole and just in front of Evan Black. A tight moment there for the 92.
And you can see that if people are going to leave a hole, it looks like drivers are going to go for it no matter what. And really, you can't afford to give them that opportunity.
I think the 92 and the 4 are not super happy with each other. 4 kind of blocking on the front straightaway there. Out of turn 2, the 4 and the 48 draw even. Shue's got the advantage in that blue and black Camaro. And we'll take that run to corner exit. Evan Black trying to follow him through. Black drops to the inside on corner exit, following the 48 of Massey.
Ooh, and Hensley up ahead got a bit of the wall in the middle of the corner. Should be fine though, but really we saw on that last run, I kind of was curious to look at everyone's right side doors because I think almost everyone had made some sort of contact with the wall.
And that just comes with the territory of having a track that likes to be raced up against that outside wall because the margin of errors...
Black just got a...
What was the issue there?
Continue.
You good there, Finian?
No, Black got a decent lick of the wall out of 4.
Oh, and the 4 car gets in the wall now, right in front of Massey. And as I was saying, the outside lane here, the quickest way around, caution flies again. I can't get through a sentence here. Cody Tabor spun around, and off the racetrack is the 2 car. That'll probably be night over for him. This might be a similar situation. Yep, the same exact thing he had done on that last caution. Same angle, and Derbyshire got a piece of it as well. And Liam Sheen again. Oh, man. Sheen has been just in every wreck tonight. None of his doing. That's a helpless feeling if you're the 96.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's kind of getting a little bit tired of being hit from a lot of people.
And Tabor smoked the wall pretty good there. All right, we'll head back live here and take a look. And now I think... What's our fuel life situation like here? Fitting about 50 laps to the end of this race.
I think it's going to be kind of close on the fuel. These guys are going to be really close on it. So I think we might see some guys maybe try to save some bit under caution to try to make it to the end. But indeed, it's going to be very close.
6 cautions for 17 laps, 5 lead changes. Bressie has been the leader as of late. I walked into here thinking Massey was probably the car to beat here, Finney, maybe even the 88, but Bressie has just come out being his typical dominant self after getting himself off to a little bit of a slow start. Once the 41 had retired, it looks like, and it looks like Massey missed his pit box yet again. That's just going to hurt him so much.
Yeah, that's just really been killing him. And he really needs to start fixing that problem, otherwise he's going to really fall out of this fight. And it's been constantly killing him because he's been making up ground on the track, but then is losing them all on pit road.
And he's going to roll out of pit road in 10th. So a big hit again for track position for that 48. We saw how risky of a situation it puts you in, and this is really going to bite him if he can't get this stuff together. I know one guy that's happy with how this race is going, though. That's Bressie. And Joshua Adams is having a pretty good race so far, but I think he's going to need Bressie to lose something, some kind of the magic that the 24 Pepsi Camaro's got in it tonight, because it seems like Adams is always trailing people. Remember back to Indianapolis, I believe it was the 88 that was following Hathaway when that caution came out to end the race. And he's just been so short so many times.
Yeah, I think if he can, really, Adams should try it. Maybe if we get another caution, which is pretty likely at the rate we've been going at. If he can get another caution to help him, maybe he can try to pull some pit strategy and get himself in front of Bressie. Because I think unless he can get in front of Bressie, I don't think he's got a shot at winning this.
So we had 14 cars start the race. 12, or actually make that 11, are still running. Cody Tabor still on track, but technically in the garage area here. So I don't think that 2 will be back out and running. The last car running is Liam Sheen in the number 96, and that car is nice and repaired looking after some slight contact with the 2 on that last caution. All right, Finian, predictions for who's going to win this thing?
I think it's pretty obvious. I think from the last few runs, I think Bressie's got the best shot out of anyone by a mile for winning this race, and I think we're going to see much of that dominance for the rest of this race.
Coming back to the restart, lap 79. Thomas Bressie leads them back to the green flag. Josh Adams tries to get alongside, but can't quite do it. Bagunia might take advantage of this as they head down to turn 1.
Yeah, Bagunia not getting as good of a restart and is falling victim to Adams and even Jadricic on the outside.
There's Brennan Kreutz back in this mess. Kreutz has been in 3 wrecks tonight and has managed to get that car back up into 5th place. There's Jared Matthew back here slicing and dicing in that green number 27. He's also been in several wrecks, got himself back going. And Nick Massey's been in no wrecks, but still manages to find himself in 8th place after some botched pit stops.
Yeah, and again, that's just been killing him all night long. And if he can make up the ground right now, I think he's got a good shot of maybe getting into the top 5. But other than that, I think he's just been killing himself on pit road for any shot at the win.
Out up front, Bressie has run away on the restart again in that Pepsi and Exalta Camaro. Out up front by 0.6 of a second. Then it's Joshua Adams running in P2. Cole Bagunia in 3rd in the number 7 FedEx car. Kevin Jadricic, your top running Ford at the moment. And that is back in 4th place. And one of our members here was saying that if you take a look at Joshua Adams' car, the 88, looks a lot like the 35 from VRL, does it not?
Yeah, it actually does.
I hadn't thought about that till I was reminded about it. Interesting coincidence there. Everything's kind of calmed down here, Finney. We're just kind of running nose to tail up in that upper groove, but As the tires wear out, that's when things start to get exciting again. But look at Casey Shue now trying to hold off Evan Black and Nick Massey. Massey trying to charge forward again. You mentioned his bad pit stops, but it seems like Massey's progress forward has been slow.
Yeah, I think it's kind of just due to everyone not fighting. I think with all the fighting, it's allowed people from the back to kind of race their way up to the guys who've been battling. And I think that's when Massey's been excelling as far as passing people. But everyone's been a lot more calmer on this restart. And I think that's kind of hurting him here at the moment. But he's trying to look maybe to go middle between 92 and the 4 and backs out of it.
Yeah, Black and Shue kind of crossed each other up in turn 1. We were riding on board with the 48 and saw that whole move. But looks like Evan Black is going to be the big winner out of this one, and Shue's going to lose a couple spots. And here comes Tyler Hensley back up into 8th. Started the race in 5th, has dropped a few spots. Hasn't been a great night for him. We got caught up in a wreck or two, and hasn't been able to climb that car as far forward as he would like. But now resides in 8th place behind Nick Massey. Bressie continues to lead now on lap number 86. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty here, Finney, and we're getting close to the end of this thing. Only 19 minutes of green flag racing remaining if there are no cautions left. So I think if you're Josh Adams and you're seeing that 24 get smaller and smaller out the windshield, they're going to need to find something to do different if you want to catch that leader.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know, I really just don't think these guys got much for Bressie. I mean, we did see that Adams was starting to catch Bressie on the end of that last run, but I don't know, it's going to be a tall order here trying to get around him.
Actually, last time by, Cole Begunia was quicker than both of the drivers in front of him in that FedEx number 7. And a battle for 6th place now, Black and Massey side by side. Massey drops to the inside. And a 4-car battle now. That'll be for 5th as Brendan Kreutz has been kind of dragged into this mess. And here comes Tyler Hensley in the Exalta number 46 up to the outside as well. Following Black. Look at how close Black gets to that wall.
Oh, and Black now trying to look to the inside of Kreutz as they head off into 3. Black gonna send it in the corner and slide up, much like what Carl Edwards did. They're trying to do, yeah, to Jimmy Johnson, I believe, many years ago.
2008, I believe that was.
Yeah, but unlike Carl Edwards, Black made it stick, and he's going to take the position. Here comes Hensley on the outside of Kreutz.
Yeah, a couple pairs of teammates involved in this one, the 92 and the 93, and the 24 and the 48. And looks like the 48 of Massey's going to drop to the inside and steal another spot from Kreutz, who is sliding backwards very quickly. And Hensley closes in on the rear bumper of Evan Black. Bressie last lap was 0.3 faster than 2nd place Joshua Adams and has extended his lead now to 1.5 seconds. Oh, we got 3 or 4 cars in the wall there. The 92 and the 93 at least were in the fence. Light scrapes there, though. It was a spectacular shower of sparks, but no real damage to those cars. Casey Shue and Brendan Kreutz almost made contact out of turn 4.
Yeah, that was very close. That was a very dangerous place to enjoy each other. That could have been a wreck there, but they're going to keep on going.
Casey Shue also flirting with the way outside line there in turn 1 and 2. And battle for 2nd is beginning to heat up here. Begunia has caught Josh Adams.
Yeah, Begunia really, it just looks like he's just kind of still up behind. I think he's having trouble getting by. And again, this is where the trouble spot is, that these guys can be faster than one another, but once they catch a car to pass, is that the passing is really another story.
Well, actually, Bressie's lap times have slowed to match Josh Adams. So I think later in the run here, Bressi becomes vulnerable, but the problem is he's extended himself out to a 1.6 second lead, and Bagunia is a little bit quicker than Adams, and these guys need to sort themselves out if they want to do anything to go catch the 24.
I think Adams, he knows that if Bagunia gets around him, he's not going to really be able to chase him back down. So I think Adams is going to still try to fight for this position.
He's going to make the 7 go the long way around. Battle for 6th now as well. Massey and Evan Black.
Ooh, both going the wall. Massey loose off of one.
Yeah, hit that wall a ton, actually. Got quite a bit of damage on that right side, but it should still be drivable. And battle for 2nd now. Bagunia almost had a run at the 88 and kind of backed up turn 3. He's going to have a heck of a run onto the front straightaway.
Oh, yeah.
And for 2nd place, here comes Cole Bagunia, and the FedEx number 7 gets to the quarter panel. Might be able to side draft here a little bit off into turn 1.
And fantastic setup by Bagunia. That is some great racing right there. Great racecraft.
And he's going to need to get around the 88 as quick as possible. There he goes, clear for 2nd place. Cole Bagunia takes it over. He's going to now have about 30 laps to go up there and get Thomas Bressi. It's a 2.2 second gap. He's got to get going now if he wants to get it. And he's not going to have to. Caution's out again. Jared Matthew in the 27 throws the caution here again. I believe it's going to be for the 7th time tonight. And we'll go back and take a quick look at what caused this one.
Yeah, it looks like it looks extremely similar to what happened to Cody Tabor.
Yeah, same deal there. And, oh, another big impact into the wall. And that will end Jared Matthews' night.
Ooh, wow! Liam Sheen almost hit him.
Oh my goodness. I just caught that at the end there. Liam had a full head of steam.
I think it was that rolling up on the track part. I think we kept it on the apron. It would have still been green. But almost, almost hit Liam Sheen. I'm kind of glad that Liam avoided that. Almost got involved in someone else's wreck again.
Yeah, I think that the caution didn't really fly until the last minute there, so Liam didn't have a ton of advance warning, and the 27 rolled back up the racetrack, and obviously that's not a great way to collect yourself after a wreck, but somehow we didn't have a horrible collision there. And you know what? Who this is going to benefit, Finian, is Bressi, because he slows up on those long runs. And Bagunia's going to have to pull something out of a hat if he wants to chase him back down. I really think if that had stayed green, that probably would have been in Bagunia's hands. But
yeah, I think so too. I think Bressi really just uses up his stuff a little bit too much on the initial run.
Well, it's going to be a good thing, though, because we're going to have about 30, maybe more like 25 laps to go. Probably going to restart around lap 100 or lap 99. And Bressi has been excellent in those 10 to 15 to 20 lap runs, and once he's out there, he's going to have about a 1.5, 2 second lead like he's gotten before. It'll be too hard for anyone else to run him back down.
Yeah, I think this caution is really just going to put it into Bressi's favor. He's only got about 25 laps left to go, and I believe our last run was about 25 laps. Maybe a little bit less.
Yeah, I believe that's about correct. I think we restarted in lap 79, and we made it to lap 97, so close to, no, it's more like 22 or 23, but for the most part, yeah, pretty close. Might have been lap 70. Can't quite remember.
Actually, since I have it up here, let me actually look. I have the data available to me.
Get to work, Finian. Oh, hey, by the way, happy birthday to Finian DeCuna, member of SimTV and co-owner, actually, and he's the one that convinced me to start this whole thing about 11 months ago, and he turns 21 today, so everyone in the chat and watching back later in the comments, please give Finian a big happy birthday here, and thanks for all you do.
Yeah, thank you for really everybody who wished me happy birthday. Quite a few people did, and just everyone in general for supporting SimTV, because we wouldn't be here without anyone's support. And the amount of support we had over the last year has been amazing. We have some fantastic stuff coming up. So just really thanks to everyone at home for watching, and all the racers that take part in our events for just giving us a lot of support.
And one of those announcements that we had the other day was that the Virtual Racing League, which runs Saturday nights, they will be featured on iRacing Live. The iRacing Live portal is connected right directly to iRacing via a link on the iRacing member homepage. So anyone watching Virtual Racing League tomorrow will see their race with probably a significantly larger number of viewers thanks to iRacing's partnership with us for that on Saturday nights. And then we have another big announcement coming up sometime next week that is pretty earth-shattering and something I would even think iRacing is a little jealous about. So that's some big news coming up. I don't really have an exact time frame for it. I was supposed to get an email today from some important people and did not. So the last I heard, there was some sponsor discussions going on, but big news coming up next week for SimTV, and I believe it's going to be something that involves every one of you that has the iRacing.com subscription, so it's going to be a big deal. So stay tuned, follow us on @sim_TV, or head to simtvbroadcasting.com for updates next week, or as well as our Facebook page, and I will post those links in the description. I don't have them there. I really need to get on that. All right, onto the back straightaway now. We'll restart lap 100. It'll be 26 laps to go. Thomas Bressi in the number 24 Pepsi car has been the dominant force in the later stages of this race. And I don't expect that to change here with Cole Bagunia and the 88 of Josh Adams. I think if someone could wrestle away the lead from Bressi, then we might have something to talk about here, but Adams is going to have to pull something crazy if he wants to get that spot.
Yeah, and again, Bressi's really been the class of the field. And I think really Bagunia is probably the only one we've seen now will be able to hold a candle, but that's only really in the later parts of the run. So it's going to be close here to the end of the race.
Coming back to the restart. 26 laps to go. Green flag back in the air. Not a great restart for second or third here, and Bressi gets out to a 2-car length lead.
And you just saw Bagunia just after he got past the line to clear the 88 of Adams to take second place away.
He's going to have to block that high side, though, because the 88's coming with a run, and he will successfully do that down the back straightaway. Bagunia hangs on to second now, but the 88's going to drop to the inside, try to steal it away, drives all the way in. He's going to try to pull the slide jump, can't get it done, has to slam on the brakes and get out of it before he gets into the 7.
That was really Adams' probably one and only shot to do so. I think he's going to struggle now to try to catch up, especially with Nick Massey to his outside.
Where did he come from? That pit stop sequence was really good for the 48, gained a bunch of spots, back up to third. Does he have anything for Bagunia or Bressi in the closing stages of this race?
I think with this track position he's got right now, I think he's definitely got a shot again. Catching them is one thing, passing is another, but it's going to be a tasty battle for the top three now fighting for the lead.
And it's only a 2/10 gap from Bressi to Bagunia. Bagunia is on the throttle. Back to the start-finish line. Let's see what the lap times look like right now for the leader, Bressi. It was a 29.255 for Bagunia. It was a little bit slower, a 29.356. So he's going to have a little bit of work to do, but Massey has cleared Josh Adams for third in that number 48 Camaro.
Yeah, actually, I saw Bressi kind of slip in the middle of 1 and 2, and actually a little bit in 3 and 4. He's slipping in the middle of the corner, but Baguni's running a much more consistent line. He's actually and is slowly trailing in Bressi, and we'll see that lap times as they come across the line. The difference between them, Baguni's going to be a little bit faster. Actually slower, interestingly enough.
I think Bagunia might be trying a little bit too hard here, but he's going to have to keep on it here, Finney. He can't let that 24 get out to a comfortable lead. Maybe just let the 24 go out there, Finney, and maybe burn the tires off and try to come back to him, but there's so few laps left, I don't think he has time for that.
No, I don't think he has time to. I think he has to make sure that he's at least a reasonable distance away from Bressi. Maybe try to run a slightly more conservative line, but make sure that he doesn't lose any time to the 24 and then try to reel him in the closing laps of the race. I think that's probably his best shot. I think Bressi's going to beat him on raw pace, just going all out. Bagunia, wow, very close to the wall.
Yeah, and actually very close in lap times as well. That time by was 1/1000th of a second quicker than your leader, Thomas Bressi, but that's going to have to increase quite a bit if he wants to steal a win away here.
Definitely gained in a lot this lap through.
And he looks like Bagunia's been focusing on corner exit. That time through was about, 0.005 of a second quicker that time. So another good increase for Bagunia, but he still has got a lot of work to do. 20 laps to go when we get back around to the start-finish line. Battle for 7th right now. Casey Shue, Brennan Kreutz, Evan Black trying to get themselves sorted out back here.
Yeah, big fight for position here. And we see these guys fighting all night long for position, and they're not through with each other just yet.
Kreutz loose off of turn 4, drops to the inside underneath Casey Shue, trying to take that 7th spot away. Evan Black might try to follow him through here. Oh, Shue got loose.
Shue loose.
Big slide for the 4-car on corner entry.
But up towards the front, it looks like Nick Massey wasn't able to entirely break away from Joshua Adams. Adams still on his back bumper.
Yeah, but he did run quicker than both leaders last time.
Adams into the wall and sliding through the grass.
We've seen that. That's almost like deja vu from about 30, 40 laps ago here, Finney. He's going to get swallowed alive by Giadrasic. Drops to the inside, will take that spot away. And the 88 will have to throttle up on exit here if he wants to save this spot.
Oh, I think he actually is going to be able to defend.
That was a good recovery. Tables have turned. Tables have turned here. Finney and Massey quicker again than both our leaders and is closing in on Begunia for second. Does he have enough time with 18 to go? Oh, we got one huge wreck on the front straightaway. Evan Black upside down on his roof. Caution flies and spinning like a top goes Evan Black and will come to rest on his side. And that'll most certainly be a caution. And a huge, horrible collision on the front straightaway. And that will halt the race here with 18 to go.
Yeah, indeed. And it was a pretty violent hit from the outside wall. And he had a little bit of help from the 4 of Casey Shue behind him.
Oh, man, a vicious. He went from 175 to 0 almost instantly, and then spun violently across the racetrack like a top. That was a crazy violent crash, and we certainly hope Evan Black is okay after that one. Especially if he's got a direct drive wheel.
Yeah,
those risks.
It looks like Black's going to end on his roof, so he won't be able to drive around and take a fast repair. So that's going to be effectively the night over for him. He might be able to come back out and get some, try to make up some track position, but I doubt that he will this late in the race. So he looks like he might finish the race in 10th. So we got 9 cars left in contention and on the lead lap.
Yeah, what a horrible wreck that was. Spinning on his roof. Let's actually, right on board the roll bar here, you can see inside the cockpit of this wreck. And, oh, hits that outside wall. Then he hooks that safer barrier. Where the safer barrier connects to the concrete, he dug in, and that's what stopped the car so fast there. A horribly violent crash that will end Evan Black's night here on lap 109.
Yep, and pit stops are underway here. And this is going to be the money stops, I think.
It certainly will be. And again, this is going to benefit Bresci a ton. And Massey gets cleanly in his pit stall, though. Does anyone try tire strategy here? Massey does. 2 tires for the 48.
That honestly might have just won him the race.
Just the advantage you get on the initial restart is enough to hold off a car for maybe 4 or 5 laps, and that's if you're on no tires. So Massey might have just done a phenomenal strategy call here, and it looks like Josh Adams is going to lose a couple spots. He'll come out P5.
Yeah, I'm honestly kind of shocked that Begunia didn't try to do anything. I mean, it might have not worked out earlier in the race, but I think just with this little laps to go, I think this kind of just by default falls into Bresci's favor. But I think with Massey pulling that 2-tire stop, he's going to be in front of Bresci, so I think this might have given Massey definitely a leg up in this fight.
Remember about, what lap are we on? We're on lap 110. And about 100 laps ago, I said, keep an eye on that 48 car. He might be the one to watch. And at the time, John Hathaway was your leader in that number 41 car. He received a penalty for changing lanes on the restart and ultimately retired from the race. Nick Massey struggled for most of the night to get his track position back after several failed pit stops. And now he finds himself leading with less than 15 laps to go on this restart here in a couple laps.
And I think finally got a good break on the pit stops. And really, and again, I was talking about that was going to be the money stop, and definitely did it there. Got into his pit stall correctly and took 2 tires, pulling a strategy move, and again, that might have put him in a good position here.
All right, why don't you go grab Thomas Bresci? We'll talk to him real quick. Hey, Thomas Bresci, it's Kyle Heyer from SimTV. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
All right, well, you led the majority of the laps in the later stages of this race, but obviously some strategy has replaced you up at the top of the field. You're now going to be restarting in second on the outside. How do you like your chances at the end of this race?
I don't know. I mean, I think I got a pretty good car. Nick's been fast. Josh has been quick, although I think he's kind of dropped back a little bit. Cole's really quick too, so I don't know, man. It's going to be an interesting one. We'll see how this restart goes. The top hasn't been too hot, but hopefully I don't totally throw it here, and we'll hopefully put this thing in victory lane.
All right. Well, good luck out there, and bring home the victory.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so that was Thomas Bressi, who led the majority of the race in the later going stages here. Finian is kind of in a little bit of a corner here because the 48 has to beat that 24 to the line, so Massey has a huge advantage over him here. And let's be honest, Bressi was taking the advantage over everyone else on these later restarts here, so it's about time that someone else gives this a try and pulls away on a restart.
Yeah, and really, it's we're kind of falling into an interesting place here. We don't have too many laps left, and if a caution were to come out, it'll end the race early. But we're also in a place where everyone's going to be the most aggressive they have been all night, and that's pretty aggressive considering what we saw earlier. So we might potentially see a wreck here. So I don't know. It's kind of up in the air of who's got it at this point, but it's really come down to effectively 3 drivers at 48, the 24, and the 7 at this point.
We're going to have 13 laps to go. There are 9 cars left on the racetrack. Nick Massey has an opportunity to steal one away from Bressi. Will he do it? 13 laps to go. Here we go. And a great restart for the 48. A push from the 7. That's going to bury Bressi behind at least one car here down in turn 1.
Let's see, you see Nick Massey going up high, trying to cut off Bressi. Bressi still trying to make the charge.
Oh, Bressi scrapes the wall out of turn 2, but now has Begunia on his inside that he's going to have to hold off. Massey cannot give that 24 a groove to work with here.
Indeed he can, and Bressi currently boxed in at the moment, but has now just cleared Begunia to his inside. And there you see Bressi trying to move to the inside of Massey. He's got to try something here.
Down to the inside. Will the 24 try the inside groove? Will he go to the top? Massey blocks the outside. 12 laps to go here at Kansas. Out of turn 2, the 48 leads, but it's only by a hair. Onto the back straightaway now. The 24 has the 88 all over his rear bumper off into turn 3.
Yeah, there's a scramble from a bunch of cars behind. The 93 actually got into the 7 in turns 1 and 2. And everyone's dogfighting back here.
11 laps to go now. The 88 drops to the apron to try to get a run on the 24. Can't quite do it off into turn 1 now. The 24 drops to the inside. Going to try to do a slide job here. Up the racetrack he will go. Massey drops to the inside. Will try to take the lead back on the back straightaway.
And Massey will do the over-under and will make it work. And here comes Adams. And you see Bressi blocking Adams on the back straightaway.
I believe there was some contact. Believe there was some contact there between the 24 and 88. Out of turn 4 almost again. The 24 might have gotten a hit. Into the wall goes the 24. The 88's going to get a rear bumper full of the 7 of Cole Begunia. 10 laps to go here at Kansas. And it's chaos from 4th on back. Brennan Kreutz to the inside of Begunia now. The contact, the 93 is going to spin out of turn 2. Crash, the 46 spins. Caution's out with 10 to go.
Yeah, we are going to have a restart. I remember when I was talking about we potentially have a caution coming out, and we have here. So, where we set the race up for what will be the final restart of the race, whether it'll end under caution or not is still anyone's guess, but we are going to only have one more restart, and it's come down to the wire here.
And here's a look at the wreck out of turn 2. The 93 slips up into Begunia, and the 46 just had nowhere to go, got turned by the 6 car. And around goes the 46 and the 93. I believe that was the 5th wreck that the 93 has been involved in tonight. Maybe the 4th. But that was a chaotic restart there, Fitting. It was only a matter of time.
Yeah, and you could really tell that everyone was just kind of going for it as they knew the race was coming to an end there, but yeah, the aggression level really stepped up here. Now, do we see anyone come down pit road? Let's see, we got Mass. It looks like, yeah, everyone's going to come down here. Oh, Adam's staying out. Bressi staying out with a big move. Wow.
Wow. This just changed a lot of things here. So, looks like we have 4 cars staying out here, Finian. We're going to have about 5 laps to go. So, the tires are not that old, I believe. Let's take a look at how old they are. I believe about 10 laps for Bressie and Adams, but for some of these drivers, there's several heat cycles on those tires, so maybe 4 tires. Oh, did he take 4? Did he take 2? He only took 2. Probably left sides. He probably, I assume he took rights the last time down.
Oh, man, that was... that was such an amazing move. My voice went up 10 octaves.
As it does.
I want to hear that. I want to hear that back on the replay when it was back. But yeah, so as you said, 4 cars staying out, everyone else coming down pit road, and I think that might have. I think with the amount of cars staying out, I think Massey's going to be out of this. That's a lot of traffic to navigate. And we were only green for about 4 laps. So, again, not that much wear on these tires compared to what we've seen. Usually these guys had about 10 laps at least of a run on their tires. So I don't think it's really going to be enough to affect them. So I think this might have put it in the hands of Bressie and the 88 of Joshua Adams.
And getting a couple reports here, finding that the stream's a little laggy on the YouTube side. I'm going to imagine that it's the YouTube ingest server having a heart attack tonight. And nothing running on my computer that's any different. We need to quickly jump to break here, and I'm going to take a look at my task manager, make sure there's nothing eating my memory.
Yeah.
All right, just took a quick look. At least on my end, everything looks normal here, so I'm going to assume after the video processes at the end of tonight, it should be fine, but obviously if there's something that's causing a lag issue, we'll take a look into it. Looks fine on my end here, so somewhere between the encoder and YouTube is where the issue is, so hopefully we'll get that all sorted out. Anyway, going to be down to 6 laps to go, probably 5 for the restart, and Nick Massey will be starting in 5th. He's going to be on the inside, though, finding a good place to be on the restart.
Yeah, indeed. But again, it's all a matter of does Jadricic get a good enough start? Otherwise, Massey's going to be put out of this. And again, coming down to the nitty-gritty here, we're only going to get a restart with, I believe, 4 laps to go. Actually, no, we're going to get it with 5 to go.
5 to go.
Yeah, so again, coming down to the wire here, and if anyone makes a mistake now, you're going to be pretty much out of it. So you got to drive 5 flawless laps, and again, if the caution were to come out now, it should pretty much be race over.
It will be unless they get it right at the green flag, which probably is unlikely. I think we'll go at least a couple corners before we see an incident. But again, I'm liking that 48 car fitting. I think fresh tires now might be a good thing, but Bressie's got 4 fresh ones on too. So it's up to Adams to see if he can hold off the 24 and maybe get around him here in the closing stages. Any bets?
I'd still put the money on the 24. I think he's sitting in the catbird seat, really, in this situation.
Well, we're about to find out. 5 laps to go, less than 3 minutes of racing. Immediately, the 24 tries to take off. Green flag flies again.
And you can see everyone else struggling behind to get started. Everyone's swerving around, trying to find some grip, spinning their tires, and Bressie is just taking off into turn 1.
And that might be all she wrote, dear folks, but a battle for second now between Adams and Jadricic. Oh, crash out of turn 2. Several cars going to be involved in this one. Caution flies. We might not be done. We might be, but Liam Sheen torn up. Cody Tabor involved again, and others. Brandon Kreutz, another wreck for him tonight. And that's going to tear up several race cars towards the rear of the field. It looks like this started Liam Sheen getting into the wall and hooks the 4 in. And that's what got everyone else torn up as well. Man, the 93 took a big lick down there.
And everyone got in. Oh, half the field got involved in that wreck. Everyone was just so close together.
Well, I'm curious about what happens up here, Finian. will everyone stay out here? Will Massey moved up a spot on the restart. He's now in 4th. So he's even in better position now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be really close down to the wire here, and I see no one coming down pit road. And I think that means that this is going to be race here. And so the only way we're going to get any sort of restart here is if the drivers are seeing 2 to go on their screens now, and there's really no way of telling that. From our perspective, at least, but we'll see next time if the lights on the pace car go off next time by. We're gonna have one more lap of racing. Otherwise, this race is gonna be official.
And I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that this race will be official. Although there are no cars that are 1 lap down, so we might actually get the 1 to green. And usually, the only way that you have that extra lap is if there are lap down cars that need to pit on a different lap. And we don't have any cars that are more than a lap, or that are off the lead lap. So we should... I don't really know. We're going to have to find out. Oh, did I hear a motor just blow? Casey. Oh, Brandon Kreutz. Yep, in the 93. That motor is...
Oh, no, it's Shu. It was Casey Shu in the 4.
Oh, it was. The 93 is still smoking, but the 4 car is completely dead. And absolute silence on board the 4 car.
Yeah, he's going to have to come down pit road and hope that he makes it to his pit stall. Maybe try to at least catch up to the pace car. And lights are still on the pace car, and I think that's going to be race official here.
That is race official. Thomas Bressi will be your winner here tonight. We do not have enough time left in the race to go back green, so the 24 car will be your winner here this evening. Joshua Adams in the 88. Will finish 2nd. Kevin Giadricic, a solid race for him, will come home P3. Nick Massey, probably, in hindsight, should have stayed out.
Yeah, you know, we always say that hindsight is 20/20, but I think really, I'm honestly kind of surprised that he stayed out, considering his teammate in the 88 of Joshua Adams was one of the first cars to peel off, and then Bressi actually moved in reaction to there, and he moved very late. Almost passing the yellow cone, but was able to quickly see Adams make that move. And Bressi peeled off of pit road, and that gave him the lead, and will give him the win now as they come around out at turn 4 to take the white flag.
A couple weeks ago at Watkins Glen, Thomas Bressi was able to fend off the 41 of John Hathaway Jr. in a late race charge at the road course. And Bressi ended up winning that race, and tonight, the 41 looked like the car to beat again, but had his problems early in the race, disconnected, and that left Bressi as probably the quickest driver left. And Bressi will steal another victory here tonight, as long as he can complete 1 more lap and doesn't run out of fuel, doesn't blow an engine, but he should be just fine on both of those fronts. And Joshua Adams got to look at this a little bit disappointed, just was 2nd best tonight, no matter who was leading, and could not manage to get around either Bressi or Massey or the 41 when he was out front early in the going.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be a little bit of frustration there. Felt like he had he's been in 2nd place, like you said, for most of this race, and has been behind multiple different people leading, and just has not been able to get up back to the front. So unfortunate for him, he's going to have to settle in for 2nd, but definitely could have been a lot worse for his situation. But yeah, I can imagine being disappointed running 2nd to a lot of different cars.
So your race results are as shown here. These are unofficial results. Thomas Bressi will be your winner. Joshua Adams will come home 2nd place. Kevin Giadricic 3rd. Nick Massey 4th. Tyler Hensley for 5th. Cole Bagunia 6th. Got to be a little bit disappointed in that. Kreutz manages to hold on to 7th. Liam Sheen, obviously involved in that late race incident to cause that last wreck, will finish 8th. Shu 9th. Black 10th. And the rest of the field there, 11th. Jared Matthew 12th. Cody Tabor. And Derbyshire 13th. John Hathaway 14th. Disconnected and off track. Checkered flag flies officially, and Thomas Bressi will complete the final lap of 125 at Kansas and will be your winner here tonight. And Finian, I think Bressi has just shown week after week that he's got the talent out here to win these races and just hasn't quite won as many of them as we would have thought. But at Watkins Glen, stole one for sure. You see congratulatory bump there from teammate Tyler Hensley. And, ooh, quite the bump he had there. And he'll get to come back around to the start-finish line and celebrate with burnouts. And a couple weeks ago at Watkins Glen, he did quite the victory celebration. He'll get to do it again here tonight. And is this his second win of the season, Finn, or has he gotten a couple more? He might have gotten 3. I believe it's number 2, though. Celebratory burnouts for the 24 of Thomas Bressi. Winner at Kansas for round number 8.
Yeah, this is his second victory of the season, so really, honestly, it feels like he should have won more, but still has half the season left to go to win a few more races.
And looping a car around to burn in his rear tires into the pavement. We'll talk to him and a couple other drivers in a few moments. We'll be right back with the interview of the winner. Welcome back live here to Sim TV. Here now with race winner Thomas Bressi. We talked to you right before the restart, and you ended up coming home as the winner after quite a hard-fought bloodbath of a race. 125 laps. I believe we had 9 cautions, but you were able to outlast them, even though you didn't lead the later stages coming to the checkers, but you managed to get yourself back out front on a late race strategy call. Tell us about those last couple laps, because it was kind of wild.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy right there. I knew Nick was pretty quick there anyways. I wasn't sure how good he would be on the 2 tires, but he was a lot better than I thought. So I was trying to size up a good time to get by him, because I knew, him and Josh are teammates. So I figured, if I did something stupid, I was going to get, passed by Josh, and it almost happened. So, and I threw a huge block on him. So I appreciate him not just turning me in the straightaway, which he probably should have. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. And that last caution there, and I was thinking about coming down to pit road and taking 2 tires. And honestly, I saw Josh turn back to the right real early, and the only thing that I had cared about, honestly, was just getting the lead. I didn't care about, I could have done without the tires, honestly, which is why I just yanked it back. Fortunately, wasn't past the cone or anything. So, yeah, I'm just happy it worked out. I was surprised how quick I was tonight. I think the track kind of came to me there as the race went. Just happy to finally get an oval win. I wish my teammates Tyler and Casey, they both had really fast cars, just caught up in the shenanigans, I guess, or whatever went on tonight. So I feel bad for them, but they were both super fast. So, so shout out to them for just sticking with it as much as I guess anybody could. But yeah, I'm happy to be back in victory lane again.
All right, second win on the season, Thomas. Congratulations, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Next up on the list will be Joshua Adams, driver of the number 88. And Josh, it seemed like whoever was out up front was just out of your reach there, and obviously you come home second. Not a bad night, but maybe a little bit disappointed in the second place effort?
Oh, for sure. I'm just disappointed in the race in general. It started in the beginning. I don't know if you guys know, but we had infinite fast repairs tonight. You guys probably saw the guy that ended up winning the race wrecked on like lap 60 or something. Probably would have had to repair like a minute of damage, and you ended up winning the race. So there's just kind of, I used one at one point, but it's just a shit show tonight.
Absolutely. So, Josh, obviously the last couple weeks, it seems like you've been just short on winning some of these races. What do you think you need to change to get that 88 in victory lane?
More green flag racing. That for sure. Tonight, green flag racing would have been nice for sure, but I really don't know. Just green flag racing.
All right, Josh. Well, certainly a good result regardless of the outcome. Second place for you, Josh. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, also, if I could just point out, we had 4 drivers in there that ended that race with 20 or more incidents. That's unacceptable. Something should be done about it.
Absolutely, Josh. Well, obviously a little bit of disappointment there from the 88, but a second place effort for Joshua Adams. And like I said, Josh, thanks for talking to us. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
All right, next we'll talk to third place driver Kevin Giadricic. Kevin, long night for you. Quite a few incidents there, but outlasted a lot of other drivers and came home for a solid third place finish. Talk us through your night.
Guys, it was a nightmare. I did everything I could to catch on, the line, braking and throttle points, and felt like I started getting it once the tires kind of broke in, but it was just a crap race, too many cautions to do anything. And, I want to apologize to Hensley right there at the end. When he got in that wreck out of 2, I rear-ended him. Just want to apologize to him, and just good race to the guys that kept it clean.
And if you think that, obviously we were talking to Josh Adams about the green flag racing. He said that if there was more green flag racing, that would certainly help his effort. Do you think that the green flag racing would have been good for you as well tonight?
Yeah, I felt like once the tires kind of broke in, I felt like I could run the line a bit smoother and get some faster speeds through the corner. So I felt like green flag racing would have definitely helped out.
All right, Kevin. Well, a solid third place finish for you regardless. We'll talk to you next week, and congrats on the third.
Thanks, guys.
All right, next on the list, and it'll be our final interview for the night. It'll be Nick Massey driving the number 48 car. Nick, I think hindsight's 20/20, and maybe he would have stayed out there with those that last caution, but still a fourth place result. Are you disappointed, or are you happy with the effort?
A little disappointed, to be honest. I mean, I thought I was a top 2 car at least. I thought I was gonna come away with it there on that 2 tire call, and the yellow came out. I figured if I would have stayed out, guys behind me would have came down, and if I came down, and some guys stayed out. So I think hindsight, I don't know if staying out would have made a huge difference. That caution flew and kind of blew up the whole strategy, but it happens. But had speed, so that's good. Move on to next week.
All right, Nick. Thanks for talking to us, and good luck next week.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You too. All right, obviously there was a lot of disappointment there, especially out of Joshua Adams there, Finney. And I tend to agree. I think that the green flag running, Josh Adams would have been the one to beat tonight.
Yeah, really. Again, we saw him in second place, almost kind of setting up himself up for a later run. But again, just never really got that later part of the run. Before we got to the an end, we had a caution come out, so it wasn't enough green flag racing for a lot of the guys, especially even for. Two, while we're on the topic too, with Cole Bagunia and the 7, really, we saw him chasing down the 24 Bresci on 2 different occasions, but cautions ended up putting a stop to his run and wasn't able to close the gap. So really, those cautions came into Bresci's favor.
All right, and that'll be it for tonight's Race Hardline Sim Racing League Midwest Powersource Cup Series from Kansas. Tomorrow night, there'll be virtual Racing League action, the regular season finale to their championship. Tomorrow night, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, should be featured on the iRacing.com live portal. So that'll be a fun race tomorrow night from Indianapolis. That's the last race before their chase, and trust me, their bubble battle is certainly going to be a lot of fun. Sunday night, Scars Stock Car Series action. I don't even know what track they're at this week, but Scars Stock Car will be Sunday night. And you got the schedule up there, Finia?
Yeah, it should be at. Actually, give me a second to pull this right. Michigan.
Oh, that's right. I remembering that. And then on Tuesday, the return of the Track Midwest Cup Series with the Porsche 911 991 Cup car. They smashed 2 SimTV records last week, both in views, which were almost double now what our second best broadcast is, as well as live viewership. Over 45 people watched that race live. So Tuesday night, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time, they'll be taking on Sonoma Raceway in Sonoma, California. That's what's coming up on SimTV the next couple days. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow night.